But now the thing is we need to come together, and it's happening. This is going to be history one day. One day they're going to say, how did the Lakotas and rainbows get together? They're going to say, in the sacred Black Hills in 2015. This is going to be history. In the future, it's going to be the rainbows and the Lakotas and all the other nations are going to come together. And one day we're going to be one.
More from their discussion.
Our whole philosophy is based on inclusion and love and non-aggressive self-expression.
That's the philosophy of the Rainbow family, and up to 20,000 of them are set to come to the Black Hills for the 44th annual Rainbow Gathering.
The Rainbow Gathering is establishing a precedent of being able to peaceably assemble on public land, because it's something that's public land is something that's very quickly vanishing in America.
But members of the United Urban Warrior Society fear they will disrespect Lakota ways and the land they're gathering on.
This is our heart of our culture, and they have their little hippie thing, and to us it's a desecration of our church.
That's why they met today at the Hill City Visitors Information Center to hear out both sides.
Our purpose is to cooperate and work with the locals. We're many of us all fighting the same struggle.
The United Urban Warrior Society says there have been reports of rape and vandalism during rainbow gatherings, but the family says it's not true.
It's a long process. There's usually trash in the woods when we show up, and when we leave, the place is immaculate.
They do claim that they pick up their trash and leave the land better, but why put the land through that to begin?
Just go away. Go away. Our mind was made up 3 months ago. That's our mother. That's where we come from. We don't go up there and jump around and hoot and holler and run around bare ass naked and smoke dope. And pot is a big thing around here. We do not want it in our hills. We don't want you there.
Well, I guess I would say kind of the spring council process almost started 2 days before spring council with the tribal meeting. About 20, 30 people, maybe a little more than that. I guess Rainbow people went out to Info Center in Hill City, where there was just going to be a small tribal meeting that was going to take place between really about 5 or 6 family and tribal leaders. But probably 30 or so families showed up. There was also a fellow named James Swan who showed up, and that was the first confrontation that really started with any natives. The first negative words that we really heard at all.
When Spring Council was announced, a man named James Riley Swan started yelling and screaming and trying to rally up support for boycott of the gathering and to evict the gathering. Because it was a desecration of the sacred lands. He used that story of the rainbows promising never to come as ammunition, even though he knew nothing about it. He repeated it, and he talked about scalping people. He said, "What's the going price on a hippie scalp?"
Been crazy. It was really sad to see that a couple people could sway so many people. I'm sure it's heartening for those people to know that they have that kind of power. Then, you know, some Native Americans started to come out. We had a nice guy come out, and then we had that Chinoopa guy come out. And that guy was like, I feel like I can impartially say it, like he was like blatantly racist. And that was a bummer for me personally, because I felt like we had our first opportunity to speak with someone who actually had words that mattered. Because it seems like on our side, like anyone can come who looks native enough and be like, oh, I speak for Hoodly Boodly, what and such, and like, I can't verify any of that. I'm just taking everybody else's word. You know, I'm not looking at IDs. And he expressed like a lot of hate, and that was extremely disheartening. And then that whole day of council ended with like him storming off and everybody yelling at everybody else, and people being really worried about like Native American reprisals in the form of violence.
Chinoopa, you're talking about?
Chinoopa, yeah, Chinoopa. He said that if we did not leave the Black Hills, we would be greenlit. He said that there were some folks that were waiting just outside of town, and that more or less it was threat of violence. He pretty much threatened that they would come and beat us up or something like that if we didn't get out of there. And served us with this weird paper thing that said that they'd break down encampments and silly things like this if we didn't leave. On letterhead that only he and the person he was with had signed, which was really, really weird and strange. So there was a big fight. I asked him to leave the circle because he got in the face of another brother, Lakota brother, Northern Cheyenne brother, who was there at the council and was looking to threaten violence on that brother too. I asked to leave the circle, which probably wasn't right. And we had a big thing, probably heart song for the most part for the rest of that day.
A brother that we would soon get to know a lot better. He called himself Chinoopa, English name Dwayne Martin.
James Swan and Dwayne Martin really started all of this in the beginning with the internet controversy. Blatantly misrepresented their position within the tribe. During Spring Council, Dwayne Martin came up to me, and when I challenged him over the validity of his claims that an actual chief had come forward and supported him, his only reply was to storm off. He got in my face and then stormed off. The chief that he had vague support from, when he found out the truth that was going on, he pulled and went against Dwayne Martin.
Encouraging. I mean, the strongest thing that I took out of that day is Payu, when he got the feather, and he had been listening to a lot of people lament around the circle. Oh, I don't know if we should be here. This doesn't feel too great. And then Payu takes the feather and he stands up and he says, I don't know what you're gonna do here, but I, for one, I'm standing here. If I'm camping out in the Black Hills by myself, so be it, but I'm gonna be here. Here's a brother who's Northern Cheyenne. He's never done anything rainbow. He's a computer programmer. I mean, he's an amazing dude. He built the Bitcoin-like currency of the Lakota, Mazacoin, and he's great for the self-sufficiency of the people. He really believes in that, and he barely knows us, second day of ever really meeting us, and he says, all you people, I've seen so much great stuff from you that I'm gonna stay right here and I'm standing with you. And that was, God, that made me cry.
Well, the Oglala Sioux Tribal President John Steele's office had already made a statement months ago that the gathering was okay pending certain conditions, which happily were met. Those being cleanup, no sacred rituals, and respect. We have a thing in Lakota called Lakota, which is we greet all of our guests and visitors to our lands in a good way with a good heart. So this is just Lakota playing out. Doesn't get much more traditional than this.
There were a lot of ugly rumors that went around, rumors that the people that scouted here had nefarious, manipulative agendas, rumors about almost anyone that spoke in favor of the gathering in South Dakota online. Almost everyone that showed their face got slandered with not just like rainbow rumors that could have been exaggerated, but out and out outrageous falsities. I got called a Blackwater operative. One of the people that scouted got called a pedophile. A lot of really ugly false words were said. And a lot of those Facebook accounts were all from brand new created accounts with no personal identifying information that had been created just for the purpose of riling up trouble on Facebook. The Facebook scene just got really, really ugly, really, really fast, and it deteriorated throughout Seed Camp. And
well, each time I think about these little internet jabs, I just, it hurts. The people on the land are the ones that are working with what's there, and other than that, it's mostly harmful. I mean, internet is not informative. It's persuasive of emotions, maybe, but it has no sense of. I don't see any of it as being helpful to what the gathering is on the land. It was much easier when we just called our 5 friends who called their 5 friends who called their 5 friends, and we all showed up.
And it was really funny because at the same time we've had opposition from Strong Heart Warrior Society and United Urban Warrior Society, and but one thing I know about them is that they're not even accepted into the Lakota homelands, but they have media and have a voice, and the only voice is that's heard. So other people's voices aren't heard, and there have been a lot of people who are really supportive of the Rainbow Gathering. Elders such as Alex Whiteplume and Deborah Whiteplume, they recalled when I was speaking with them, they remember when Rainbow helped us, Indigenous people, even on Bear Butte. We've fought for the same rights, side by side, and not the same rights, but we've collectively helped each other on each other's fights for our rights. And so there has been a long relationship with the Rainbow Gathering since the 70s.
Okay, I guess before I came here, I'd been following the scout process pretty closely, and I knew that the scouts had been making attempts to contact local representatives of the Lakota, and I wasn't paying as much attention to the drama on the other forums that had nothing to do with people that were on the ground here. So that's why I wanted to be at Spring Council and find out what actually was up. And I came to Spring Council and found out the real things, because Rainbow Process has nothing to do with the internet. So if you want to show up and be part of... Okay, one of my friends said, general consensus is we shouldn't be in South Dakota. Actually, there's perfect consensus at Spring Council that we should be in South Dakota. If you'd like to be part of the consensus process, show up at Vision Council, show up at Spring Council, show up at Thanksgiving Council.
And the second one we made after frequent trips into town, realizing that Facebook liaison was now a Rainbow job, because there had to be all of this rumor control, because they were saying the most terrible, crazy, untrue things about what was happening at Spring Council. And so our next consensus was basically a consensus that pretty much everything on Facebook is a lie, and the only people that you should listen to about what's going on at Spring Council are the people that are at Spring Council. And a few people volunteered their contact information so that people could call them for rumor control. So that was our second consensus, don't trust the Fed book.
The 3 days of council were amazing. I've never seen a council like that. Never seen a gathering like this either in the 30-some years I've been coming. The focus was as good as it could ever get. I don't see it ever being better than it was.
So whenever I got on the Facebook page, I was, I would get on there and creep every day to see where they decided to have the gathering, and every day I got on there, there was just more and more negative propaganda about how nobody wanted us here and how all the natives didn't like us and they were completely against having the gathering, and there were threats of violence and all different kinds of just lies being spread around, misinformation. And then when I got here, there was virtually no police. The police that were here were really cool, I haven't had any bad encounters with any of them. And all the natives and all the rainbow family are just getting along. I talked to one of the grandmothers the other night, and she told me how this is the time for the rainbow family and for the Lakota to come together and to be one big family. And we all want the same thing. We're all ridiculed by the government. We're stereotyped. We're frowned upon in regular society, and then you get here and it's just a bunch of people loving each other and praying for peace and getting along and sharing and being human. So
we just came to see if you were all doing our sun dances, our sweat lodges, a lot of our ceremonial things. We just came to see if you were all doing it, and we came to stop you. So I don't know what day we came up here. It was spring council, and yeah, we liked it. We didn't see anything wrong. We didn't see any completely wrong things. There was some bad stuff, but not so bad to make us want to stop it.
What kind of bad stuff?
Some nudity, some people taking drugs, weed. Everyone says weed is bad, but I don't think so either. So that's why I was okay with all of that. And
all the controversy coming up, or hearing about the controversy coming up from the Lakota people on this land, and instantly was like, well, if they don't want us to be here, that's all right, I won't be there. But upon looking into things just a little bit deeper, you saw that it was just one person who's really stirring the pot, and other people were jumping on the bandwagon, and it wasn't actually a unified force of the Lakota people saying please don't. It's more, well, please respect and come in love. And everything that I've seen here so far has been absolutely amazing. People have been open, they've been loving, they've been sharing, they've been caring, and they've been giving.
Friends of mine, and I heard that they were going to come here to the Spring Council, and I trusted them that they would be able to give me good ideas of what I should do. And when I heard there was much controversy, I stopped and I looked at the controversy, and then I got in touch with my friends on the land, and I trust my friends on the land with my life. I scout spots in the woods and tell them to come, and they scout spots in the woods and tell me to come. We just do that regardless of any other rumors. So I came to make sure my friends were okay, and also because I trust them. And when I arrived, I found that all the controversy that I had heard was just a bunch of balderdash. It was just wild things on the internet, and what was going on the land was a growth of harmony and families coming together in ways that Rainbow has always been to me.
Everybody agrees that love is the answer here, and that I'm home, obviously. So I'm really glad that I didn't listen to the probably sabotage Facebook nonsense, because this is going to change my life.
I think it's like our prophecies coming true. We're told the children of the white man will come asking us for help. I don't know exactly what help, but ask us how to live, how to live on, to keep living for survival. We're told, that's what we're told.
But I was talking more with people on the ground that I knew and trusted from other gatherings. Also, I started seeing some Native voices who are local saying, hey, these people here, they don't speak for us. We believe in welcoming strangers that come in peace. And that really meant a lot to me, because I did totally want to respect the people on the land, especially when people start talking about the grandmothers and what they wanted. I'm like, oh, I do not want to offend grandmothers. I have much respect for grandmothers. And but it seemed like all the hate and fear was saying, go to Michigan. And then we started hearing love and welcoming here. And I'm like, okay, I'm going where the love is. Like that actually made it easier. The more people were hateful and fear-mongering to go to Michigan, you have to go to Michigan or else you're not a real rainbow, or else you're gonna die, I'm like, oh, no, I think I'm gonna go over here, away from you guys. So kind of reverse psychology on me, I guess. And then I got here, and I still didn't know what to believe. And then I started meeting people. I met the grandmothers, like Arlette and Helen, and I was just so touched by their stories and so grateful for the welcoming, how wonderful and welcome they've been. And
I met the Rainbow people family. I met my family back in 1986 when on the reservation I became an alcoholic. And I wasn't raised that way. I come from a traditional family, so I didn't want my people to see me drinking on the streets around here, so I took off to San Francisco. Well, I didn't go to San Francisco. I just ended up there. And then the first ones I met were the Deadheads, Jerry Garcia. And then I met the Rainbow people. And then the way the Rainbow people lived, I connected with them right away because that's the way I grew up on this land. And today they're still living like this, the way we should be living too on the reservation. So I've been, since I came back and I sobered up and in 1990, and I went back to working with my people, ceremonies, doing ceremonies, working with AA, working with the Aztecs. I'm working with the natives from South America and how they're so close to their land, still the land. And so I come back home and I was telling my people about Rainbow family. I found a family. They're good people. They still have that love and that caring, spirituality. That's what we had at one time. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back to the people. Let's go back to living off the land. Let's go back to being independent. They are doing it. We can go back and live the same way. And we can all be one because we can learn from each other. What we lost here, the family still has over here. So let's bring it together. Let's be one family. Let's work together to be self-sufficient, where we can help each other in that way. And just be one big family, a loving family. I want that love and that caring to come back to my people. I want these young kids to have that. What we used to have and lost, I want the kids today to have that back. And the only way today I look at it is we gotta get help. And me, I'm like, the Rainbow people, that's my family, they're good family. And this was my dream. This was my dream for a long time, since the 90s into 2000, that I wanted my people to meet the Rainbow family. Meet them just one time. And then me coming back here 5 years ago, here I am saying, it's never gonna happen, this is my dream. Oh, Rainbow's never gonna come to South Dakota because of the Republicans and the way everything is, divide and conquer. They're never gonna come here. And I felt bad, but I pray and pray anyway. And here I am sitting out in the country, no TV, nothing. I went down into the village. I'm always down there, and one day somebody said, the gathering, the Rainbow gathering. I said, where? And they said, in the Black Hills. You know what? So those are the sacred hills. And for them to come to the sacred hills, I said, let my people see. Let them know what they're missing. Bring them here to Joshua. Bring them here so that we can be one. Be one big family to help each other in the survival and the struggles that we're going through today. There's a lot of struggles, and them struggles ain't gonna go away. They're always gonna be there. And we need a family that's loving and caring, that these people, these younger generations can come to and find their way in life. That's what the family's about. That's what my people are about. But now the thing is, we need to come together, and it's happening. This is going to be history one day. One day they're going to say, how did the Lakotas and Rainbows get together? They're going to say, in the sacred Black Hills in 2015. This is going to be history. In the future, it's going to be the rainbows and the Lakotas and all the other nations are going to come together. And one day we're going to be one. And one day our kids will always have a home to come into. And yeah, people complain about these youngsters. We were young at one time. I did. I became an alcoholic in the Lakota way. In the rainbow, when I first found the family, I was in A camp too. But today I'm in the circle praying. I worked my way to the circle. And it wasn't hard. But it's for the people. It's for the next generation, next generation. And we want to be self-sufficient. We have everything here. They say the Lakotas are the poorest people in the United States. We're not poor. We have it all right here. And everything we need is right here within us and this earth, this Mother Earth. Once we connect, this is our way of life. Not food stamps, not hand-me-downs. No, we can be self-sufficient. We were before. Why can we bring it back today with the next generation? That's where my people need help. And that's where I got my other family to help. This is my family too. Rainbow's been my family. They're the ones that found me on the streets lost. If it wasn't for Rainbow and Jerry Garcia dying and changing my life, I would have died after a long time ago. I would have died a drunk Indian, just like what the government wanted me to do, die a drunk Indian. But I overcame that, and I told the government,
So much different than
no,
I feel like.
you ain't gonna do that to my children, my grandchildren. So today I like this. I want world peace. I want all colors to stand up in this and be one family. That was my grandpa's prediction, and I'm going to make sure it happens. Because I know my grandpa's watching from above, and I know he likes what's going on here. He loves people like you guys. He loves people that can take care of their family on their own, self-sufficient. And that's what this camp is about right now. Many people should come and join us today. Come and see what we're doing. I bet you're going to walk out of here with love in your heart. You will come back and you will join us. Because you ain't going to find that out there no more. You're only going to find it in the families. So all the grandkids out there, come to the rainbow gatherings and find out what this family is about. Because that's where grandma comes from, that family too. So today I rejoice because my dream came true. Here I am with both of my families here to celebrate and have a good time and grow from it. Leave us. We're going to learn from you. And when you guys leave, you guys are going to take something good, and you guys we're going to take something good too. And then from there, we're going to work together to make it better.
It was June 23rd. A whole crew of us got on Lucid's bus and headed over to Pine Ridge for the purpose of cleaning up the powwow grounds, the park, and the playground at the request of one of the Lakota elders. We had 23 folks on the bus, 3 dogs, and we loaded up the bus when we were all done with 35 big black plastic garbage bags full of trash and hauled that to the dump.
Our delegation of rainbow people that came down to the res, they were surprised by all the support that they received from the people in town on the reservation. And we managed to, the rainbow people were excited for the opportunity to help clean up the trash at the park, in the skate park, and the powwow grounds on Pine Ridge Reservation in Pine Ridge Town. And we've even been able to pump some money and some income into Rosebud Reservation's grocery store, because the Rainbow Nation do not like supporting corporations. They want to support indigenous indigenous local businesses. And really, that was really cleared up because we came and we wanted to know how exactly this would benefit indigenous communities. And there was a little bit of vague misunderstanding. It was first brought up, well, you know, we can find indigenous local businesses here in the Black Hills, but the Black Hills, we clarified to everyone that it's owned by all white local business owners, and there's a big cloud of supremacy and social white privilege here, and as indigenous people, we don't even feel welcome in the Black Hills. And you know, so that they understood. They started to really understand and everything. So they really started to put forth a lot of effort to build relationships on the reservation by helping pick up trash, by getting groceries and produce, and almost wiping out that supermarket in Rosebud Reservation of all its garlic and cabbage and tomatoes, everything. You know, they were surprised. You know, wow, like four shopping carts full of food, and you know, and we cleaned out their produce, and that really helped them. I know the people wouldn't have bought that produce that fast. You know, we helped them out. And all it had to do was with communication and building relationships and alliance with the Rainbow people, who are much more receptive than, you know, the common white society. That the Rainbow has no color; it's all colors. You know, all backgrounds of indigenous roots. You know, and we understand they wanted to gather at a spiritual place, and traditionally, you know, that's where the Black Hills were. You know, all indigenous people were able to come and gather for a spiritual, you know, for spiritual gatherings. And, you know, and I mean, it all came together really beautifully.
26th of June, we took a whole school bus load of folks to go to support Leonard Peltier. It was the 40th anniversary of his being put in prison. We were welcomed at the Leonard Peltier rally by several of the elders, including Chase Iron Eyes and Leonard's son and his brother.
So my name is Chase Iron Eyes. I'm a Lakota citizen, and I penned an article that called for an alliance between the Rainbow family and the Lakota Nation. I'm currently trying to gather other leaders, other Itancha, other traditional leaders, and other IRA elected leaders, tribal council leaders. There should be a statement that comes out. There should be a position that's made instead of, you know, any one person or any rogue Lakota person who's making threats at Rainbow family and who's really reflecting negatively on the whole of the Lakota Nation. And so I personally support an alliance between the Rainbow family and the Lakota Nation because we are about the same things. We are about decolonizing our minds and connecting ourselves directly to our food sources. You know, there should be no corporate walls between the food we eat, the medicines we take. We are about self-sufficiency. We are about respecting and living off the land. These are things that we share in common. So in my mind, the Lakota Nation should welcome the Rainbow family, and they should welcome that sort of aspect in the human family alive today. But I know there are negative things that happen and that have happened, just like there are negative things that happen with us at powwows or what have you. My sole aim is the return of the federal lands in the Black Hills. In order to do that, we need to assert ownership over it, because the United States, under their laws, they contend that all we deserve is money. You know, $1.3 billion. Well, we don't want that. We'll never take that. That's blood money. We have a mantra that the Black Hills are not for sale. And so I see a potential alliance between the Rainbow family and the Lakota Nation that could lead to an actual presence there. A peaceful, direct, unrelenting presence that results in the transfer of those lands into tribal nations' hands. That's what I see, and that's why I take the positions that I take, because I see the big picture. I'm willing to let these things go. There's a lot of complaints about appropriations, appropriating native ceremonies and this kind of thing. I don't know what I'm to say about that. What are human beings alive here supposed to do? How do descendants of immigrants here that came to this continent, our continent, 300 years ago, how do they connect to this continent? How do they connect to our sacred sites, to our sacred places? There has to be room for growth in the human family. Even Lakota people moved around. Indigenous peoples moved all over and created new relationships with different sacred sites in territories that they weren't necessarily in 1,000 years ago or 100 years ago. So we have to leave room to evolve. This is just what I feel personally, and I'm trying to organize a cogent position that comes from respected leadership within the Lakota Nation. This should happen. We should support the Rainbow family. We are all trying to liberate ourselves in different ways. I have no right as another human being to judge what somebody else does to pray. I don't, and I'll never judge them. But we're each trying to liberate spiritually and economically. And when I say economically, I don't mean I want wads of cash. I mean I want a direct relationship with my food source. Farm to table, ranch to table, or you're farming in your own food. I want a hemp economy, a truly, if the powers that be can't institute a true cost economy, then where the subsidies that the corporate welfare that subsidizes coal and oil and the whole carbon economy, then they should support a transition to a hemp economy. Because hemp can do the things that oil can do, petroleum and what have you. And tribal nations should do that. Tribal nations are legally and economically oppressed in 2015. We're always the poorest and shittiest people, materially speaking. Our quality of life indicators are always horrendous. We have the most suicides, we drink the most alcohol, we take the most drugs, we get in the most car wrecks. We go to prison at extremely high rates, yet enlist in the United States military at about those same rates. I just feel that it's time for indigenous people, or the original nations of this continent, to step up. Instead of smashing and creating division, we should be creating alliances and building bridges. The world is a small place now. Through technology and just through communicating and being open-minded, we can reach the right allies. We all love this land, and we should all protect it.
We only have one mother, and that's Mother Earth. We need to protect her. It's weary now. So I really stood strong. Our tribe has made a strong stand on opposing the Sexal pipeline and the uranium mining. So I more or less was going to invite myself to go home to the sacred Black Hills and visit with some of your Rainbow people and possibly give you information on Leonard and other issues, especially Leonard, you know, and see what we can do as a people to help with Leonard's freedom in 2 years. So I'm going to be coming up.
I was writing my honors thesis on the Rainbow Gathering, and so I had read pretty much every book that there was out there to read, or so I thought. I've since found a few more, and I'd settled on the Rainbow Gathering as the thing that was going to change the world, because it's direct action. As the indigenous people were saying, you got to build the culture on the ground first, and that's what we're doing.
Can you talk about that council that you were in that Chase Iron Eyes came up to, that brother had called about being an objection to the gathering in the Black Hills, and then Chase Iron Eyes and the tribal council came in?
Yeah, I felt like I was in the right place at the right time, because I got to speak right before they all arrived. And I expressed my heart song of heartbreak and disappointment that there was so much shouting. Not that people were disagreeing, but that, you know, people were standing up and coming to blows almost over this. And Red Dog and I both sobbed. And then exactly what we were asking for, the people to talk to us on the ground walked up and said, hey, this is our intention, and we like what we see and want to be part of it if these concerns are addressed. And I mean, it felt like I was in history, like history in the making, and I'm very blessed to have seen that. And it definitely, any doubt that I had at that moment about what it meant to be rainbow basically evaporated, because as soon as that possibility was presented, that's what we latched onto, and that's powerful stuff.
There's not complete animosity towards the Rainbow family from the Lakota Nation. We had a meeting with the Leonard Peltier Commemoration Committee, and they support a Rainbow Lakota Alliance for the purpose of returning the Black Hills to the Lakota Nation. Aho! Right? And we have support from the American Indian Movement, grassroots. Nobody knows how Lakota kind of leadership and culture operates. So when they see these things on the internet, they think that those guys speak for all of Lakota people. And the reality is that they don't. Even I don't. You know, nobody here does. But we figured that, I figured that unless we address this, and I'm calling on other treaty leaders to join me, that Leonard Peltier, I don't know if any of you know who Leonard Peltier is. I'm sure there are other rainbows who you consider political prisoners in that nature. But we don't want the legacy of your coming here. You came here for a purpose. And we might not know what that purpose is yet, but we don't want that legacy to be tarnished primarily by the negative energy that's proliferating around this digital reality, which I'll admit that it's coming to that. You know, the cloud infrastructure is here. Drones are here, not here at this gathering, but here as a concept. And creating this other reality really puts your original spiritual makeup intact, at risk. You know, we are at risk, our children are at risk from being subsumed by a digital reality. And so I just mention those things because I feel that the rainbows we have more in common than we have differences. Now, we're not holding hands yet. You know, we have legitimate concerns, and that's why we wanted to come here to talk to you about those things, but in a serious and open manner. So I'm gonna be quiet for now, and I'll pass the. When you're here, you're in a holy place. This place breathes differently. So whether or not you follow a pagan way, a Celtic way, a Saracen way, a Wiccan way, the way of Jesus Christ, I believe that we're all seeking and we're all part of the same consciousness. You just have to transcend the prison of your culture, and of your language, and of your phenotype. What you see right here. That's truly what I'm about. Now I realize that there's other sects of the rainbows, just like there's other sects of Lakota culture. Sometimes there are bad apples. Sometimes there are these things that happen that set us back. But I'm telling you right now that we represent a lot of people. There's only 4 people here, 4 men here, 5 men, but they all have families, and we all have networks, a huge network. We operate the Last Real Indians media network. I don't know if you've heard of it or seen it, but we reach 500,000 to 1 million people a week. And unless we came here today, this negative, almost a psychological operation, military style, that's going on online right now, that would be the legacy of your coming here this summer. And even though there wasn't a 100% consensus for all rainbows to come here, whoever was supposed to be here ended up here. And we will need your help one day. So I'm asking you, I tell you these things, I tell you the name of our online media presence. My name is Chase Iron Eyes. I tell you these things so you can find us. And when we call, we do want the Black Hills back. We want the federal lands. The Forest Service should just turn those over to us. All these parking tickets they're trying to give us, if they give us any, the money should come to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've totally brainwashed our people. And we want all federal and state lands here returned to us. And the perfect ally is the Rainbow family. You guys know the practical reality of what it takes to live here. Like we used to live here. Like we want to live here. But we're also cognizant of the reality that is out there. The straw man, the matrix, however you want to put it. There is a spiritual war going on right now. And out there, it touches us. Every aspect of us, it subsumes us. We've got to trade our labor for a currency. It's a system. They're very, very clever. In our way, it's called Iktomi. It's a trickster. But they've developed this system a long time ago, man. They perfected this system. They made modern-day slaves out of us. And I know that you guys are trying to break through that. And so, yeah, that's right. You broke through, like this gentleman here. That's sovereignty. That's a spiritual sovereignty. I don't have a right, and I should be promoting your right to create that relationship here on this continent. After 200 to 300 years here, Americans should wake up. That we should all respect this land. We should all create a relationship with it. So we will need help defending our clean water for my son and our kids here and your kids as well. These little guys running around here. We want control of the federal parts of the Black Hills. Personally, I don't want to disturb the private property owners here because the machine is big and the machine is powerful. And I've got to contend with that machine. We have all aspects of society within our own people. So I just want us to be able to provide for ourselves. We've been living in poverty, obscene poverty for 100 years, killing ourselves, hanging ourselves, drinking, alcohol, using any kind of drug we can get our hands on, killing each other. We're 33% of the prison population here in South Dakota. We're 54% of Pennington County Jail in Rapid City. We've got a lot of healing, a lot of decolonizing to do, and I just wanted to come here because I want allies. When it comes time to come here to occupy the Black Hills, I want you here with us. Regardless of all this other nonsense that's being spit out there. Just wait and pay attention. Remember our names here. And we'll always come to you with open hearts and open minds. I can give you our word on that. We represent ourselves here, just like every one of you can represent yourself. Thank you.
Radiating love from me to you, to you, to you, to you. I've got to let the light shine through, because this little light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah, this little light of mine, yeah, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine can shine, can shine. We all can shine. La 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 la, la 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 la, shine through, shine through. Let the la love shine through, radiating love from me to you, to you, to you, to you. We've got to let the love shine through, because this little light of ours can burn for a good cause. Yeah, this little light of ours can burn for a good cause. Yeah, this little light of ours can burn for a good cause. Yeah, this little light of ours can burn, we all can burn. Turn on the love light, keep it on. I'm coming home, I'm coming home, I'm coming home. Turn on the love light, keep it on. I'm coming home, I'm coming home, I'm coming home. Turn on the love light, yeah. Keep it on. I'm coming home, I'm coming home, I'm coming home. Turn on your love light, keep it on. 1, 2, 3, and la 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 la. Shine through, shine through. Let the love shine through, radiating love from me to you, to you, to you, to you. We've got to let the love shine through.
But I'm really happy that I came the first day of Spring Council to see how this whole thing gets built and like all the love that's put into it. It's amazing. It really is amazing. And it's really lovely to find a place where I can be myself completely. Like the first week probably, people kept on saying, "Welcome home, sister, welcome home." And I didn't get it, and I felt uncomfortable, sort of. I didn't know how to respond. I kept on saying, like, "Oh, thank you." But probably the third day we were here at the actual site, I told a guy my story, and he said, "Well, welcome home." And I looked him right in the eye, and I said, "Thank you. I know what that means now, and thank you. And I'm happy to be here."
I'm one of the main cooks at Waterburn, and this gathering has been amazing. It's been amazingly beautiful. Everybody we've met from any tribal nation has been generous. They've been loving. They've been interested in what we can offer, what we can do, and in return. We are building rainbow bridges that haven't been built yet before because we've all been too scared to push the issue or too scared to try. We almost didn't make it to this gathering. Waterburn is from New England, and we almost did not make it because of all the controversy that was going on around about it. We had been hard, but we decided we trusted our family, and family was down here at council and family said it was okay, and we were going to come and support them, and I'm so glad we did. I'm so glad we're here, that we're getting to feed the family the way we're supposed to, and everybody else. We've done so many amazing things. We helped clean up the powwow down at the reservation, the school, and a park. We participated in the Leonard Pelletier March. Leonard Pelletier actually got to talk to the people after the march for 5 minutes from solitary confinement. We're making progress and helping out with the Ogala and the uranium mining situations that are going on, and we're hoping to help with the return of the Black Hills to the Native people. And I don't know what else Rainbow is for but that. So I wish you were all here if you're not, and we love you from the bottom of our hearts, and we look forward to seeing you the next time.
Everybody else, I was really freaked out. I was all over Facebook. I wish I had I was getting sick in my stomach every morning, waking up and reading all this crap all over Facebook. In my heart, I didn't believe any of it. I knew some of it was trolls, government trolls, provocateurs, and those trolls, they hate their lives, so they want to make you try to hate yours. but still there was so much of it, and you really wondered. I didn't want to insult the Lakota. I didn't want to come up here if we were really going to piss them off. None of us did. But I trusted the people in the land more than I trusted Facebook. And I trusted Spirit. And I believe Spirit would not have brought us here if we weren't supposed to be here.
How's it been the last
So even though I had little intrepidations, came anyway. This has been the most awesome gathering. I've been to 23 of them. It's the most awesome gathering I've ever been as far as the spirituality, the closeness of the family, and the Lakota have been awesome. We've traded stories back and forth. It's just been fantastic. And
I decided to trust our family's traditions and trust our family's process, which is to counsel in an open council that anyone is welcome to show up at, that I was not able to make it to. And so I came here to South Dakota. And it has been the most beautiful gathering that I've been to. It has been a chance for us to remember why we love this place, for us to learn from those who have been doing it for 44 years now, and to gather a resolve to do it for 44 more years. And I know that I'll be here for as long as I am alive. And I know that because my family needs me to keep picking up trash.
Right? You guys are out here, you guys are looking after each other, you know? That whole talk of family and that love that you guys speak of, right?
I love you.
Straight up, man. Like, I was like, you know, hearing that coming in, I was like, what Like when a girl said it to me, I was like, yeah, I love you too. When a brother said it, I was like, yeah, I love you. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't see that way. You know, it's weird, but to me, it was like that overall, like, no, for real, you know, we all look after each other. I grew up in a rough environment to which I didn't get love. You know what I'm saying? So for you guys to say that, I was like, yeah, I'm always cautious about stuff like that, you know? Because I know people mean that from the heart, but I've always had a huge block of it. You see what I'm saying? So when I hear that, I mean, that positive force, and you're just like, hey, wait now. I've been down this road too many times, I got burnt too many times. I'm like this wire right here, you know? You know, deep down, I'm like, I don't know. But you guys really mean it. You know, I love the people watch. And it's not, you know, us or anything like that. I'm out there and I'm looking at things, and you guys literally have like this zen. You get into it, you know, like that connection. You know, in the place.
So I'm an environmental science major with an emphasis in indigenous water policy and ethics, water rights, land rights, that kind of stuff. And I'm really interested in what's going on here because the issue of returning the Black Hills to the Lakota is really an example of how this government has just over and over taken from this group of people and just, you know, this is one of the most sacred spaces in their cosmology, and to continue trying to keep those people out feels really wrong to me. It's just a perpetuation of the colonial mindset that has created a lot of the issues in our country today. A lot of the drought in California was caused by this property rights system over water that allows the commodification of water opposed to recognizing it as sacred and to be shared by all people. So.
And then how have you seen the situation with Rainbow dealing with water and sanitation and everything?
Right. So they're extremely environmentally conscious with it. I mean, the composting toilets are always really far away from water sources. There's no one's really allowed to camp in riparian zones. There's extreme attention to detail with environmental sensitivity here. I know that some of the Lakota I came with seemed really excited and inspired by the methodology used here, like the structure and the organization of how to set up camp in an environmentally conscious way. And I know there's a lot of excitement around collaboration in that area.
Water systems.
That's even better, the water system.
Yeah, there's a lot we can learn and, you know, make a better future for each other.
Yeah, we could learn a lot from each other. That's what I'm thinking.
And yeah, I mean, and if any indigenous people, you know, watch this, I want them to know, understand that, you know, we all have to work together, and we can all benefit from communication, love, and you know, surviving. We need each other. We need everyone to survive, and everything. And you know, rainbow really, it breaks down all barriers. We're oppressed people, you know, in our communities or outside of in the cities and everything. And you know, the rainbow people, they make us, we feel really safe, I should say. We feel really safe in society among the rainbow community, the world. You know, the rainbow world. They create a magical world, and it's an escape from Babylon, from the res. It's a really beautiful world.
I come from planet Earth, and I made it to this year's Nationals, one of the most sacred places on the planet, the Black Hills of South Dakota. It's magical. I fell in love with the gathering. It's hard not to when you're so in love with life. Climbing to the tops of mountains and just hearing all types of music all around the valley, and gosh, the moon was so full! Yep. Magic. Now I'm off on another international adventure, but it's never really international or anything. It's just continuing the connection with the planet, just like meeting new friends, new places and spaces and cultures and foods and languages. We're all one, each individual person in their own universe of life. That's what I have to say.
We are in a sacred place. We are the Rainbow Family living life, and that's my delight. There I see this family, the spirit right here. And if you look upon the trail, my family, this is our spirit house. This is the house of the folks that passed this year. Make sure on your journeys you come and visit, and the pictures are here. And we're able to see, because they're here with us today, celebrating, relating, partaking of our joy making. In their view, look that way, look at that view. That's the beauty. They're home, they see the teepee. We're one family. We're one humanity. We come with the grace to know. It's true. I've been coming since 1972, when I was 23, like a lot of you. But I was just like you, individuality, personality. In the next 44 years, if you come, you're going to be in your 60s and 70s. And you're just like me. And you're going to come to our spirit house. And you're going to see the glowing feather in any weather. Shine divine with an open mind. For I'm not older than you. You're not younger than me. I'm earlier. I'm before you. You're after. Group hug? If I had a picture of my son, Mikey, he looks so much like him. Please come and share this. What's going on for these folks?
You wait, little Liza's gonna drink some first, and I'll get some of you.
Tricked a Huckleberry? Tried to wash his face? He wouldn't do it. But you could convince him to throw a cup of water on his face. Yeah, and then you would wipe it off.
That used to work. Yeah? Maybe that still works.
Huckleberry had a couple like really funny little tricks. Like if there was a problem, it worked so well. I've never seen it like that works sometimes with some the Huckleberry like every time. Like can't you have it upside down? Oh never mind. Upside down. The world is better upside down.
Unfortunately, there's been a lot of scrutiny involving your organization. And it wrapped up and it got intertwined into our own people. But as we all know, there's dysfunctions amongst anybody. But after understanding the story behind Rainbow, I have a clear picture. And the American Indian movement, they've asked me to come over here and speak and come over here and let you know that as caretakers of these hills, this is our land, our sacred praying. This is where it happens. Under the circumstances, we all know that camping in large quantities like this, there's always a lot of responsibility. And as a Lakota and as a spokesperson, we're just asking that you leave it like you found it, if not better. And that, you know, we all have our ways of prayer. But right now, this time of the year, it's our new year, where the prayers are most powerful. We have what they call chanupa. That's the pipe. They're loaded across this nation in prayer. And I ask in a humble way, respectful way, that we honor that. Now this discrimination that's taking place against the Rainbow people, we've lived in this environment. for too long. And this I see that is part of an impact that's going to make a statement. Because if they want to evict you, then they need to evict all of them. So our Lakota people and the American Indian movement and the Lakota People's Law, we welcome you here. Woo! Thank you so much. Loving you, brother. And only thing I ask is that respect one another and love one another, even beyond these boundaries, because they're hurting out there. And what they're saying that you can't do, they've already done. So it makes no sense to me. So, you know, I just, on behalf of me and my wife and granddaughter, we came out here just to share this message with you. And the American Indian movement, they back you. Big time. Yes. So where's that hookah lounge I heard about?
Thank you, loving you. Oh, say, my name's Cody Hall. Some of you guys that we talked to you guys a few days ago, we told you we would be back. My buddy Chase Iron Eyes, we're here, and like I said, we are going to come out here and camp with you guys. And those of you guys that want to, if not already know a little bit about traditional ways, we're not going to go extensively about our ceremonial things, but just a little bit of how we or what we're willing to teach you guys through prayer. That's what we're here for. But also, I understand it's chow time, so I'm sure a lot of you guys are hungry. But in Lakota way, we pray. The food's already out, so we'll bless it. But my little niece here, she'll say a prayer in Lakota, and then I understand you guys will do the Om after that. And it's chow.
Oh,
Thank you. Here we go. Oh.
So we're trying to make sense of it. I'm trying to make sense of it. And through all that stuff that was happening on the internet, I just made a determination by myself that I needed to come to the Rainbow Gathering. That I needed to try to build an alliance with like-minded people. But so I went to school.
We need lawyers like you.
They try to make a slave out of me, just like they try to make a slave out of everybody. These guys are clever. Whoever devised this set of institutions, you know, you call it Babylon, you call it whatever you want, but it's so crafty. With fiat currency, somewhere along the line they colonized us all. I grew up thinking that just brown people were colonized by quote-unquote white people. But after I trained my own mind on the history of the development of political thought, for instance, in the Western culture, I realized that it wasn't just Indians that were colonized. They separated everybody's spirit from their mind. You know what I mean? They separated all of our labor from its meaning, from any meaning. When you come out here, labor has a meaning. I've never been so concerned about cutting wood than I was today. Because I didn't want to go cold tonight, you know? those who are cooking all the kitchens, that's sovereignty. That's inherent sovereignty. That's independence. That's existing. That's living. People who are gathering wood, people who are cutting wood, people who are cutting, the people who are preparing the food, who are serving the food, who are blessing the food. Those are all jobs. And I want that for humanity. We all need to unplug and to reconnect with the living universe. That's our old way. We've been like that for a long, long time, and we have a cosmology and a mythology and probably some other kind of ology that ties us directly to the sacred land that we're now on. There are other sites in the Black Hills that are tied to certain constellations, to certain stars, during certain times of the season, where we have to go for ceremonies. Some of those things aren't open to just anybody, you know what I mean? But when the proposition came, when the reality came that the rainbow was coming here, and I saw what was happening online, I just took it upon myself, representing myself and my family, to welcome the rainbow. Welcome the rainbow family, because I saw more commonalities than I saw differences.
Oh yeah.
And there were specific things. When we talk about the Holy Land, the Mecca that we're in, we were guaranteed this whole thing by treaty in 1868. Some of you know about that. And we need help in getting it back. And there really is no better partner. There is no better ally than the Rainbow Nation, the Rainbow family. Yep. Even the word for ourselves that we use, Lakota, that word means ally. That's what that word means. To be a good Lakota means to be a good ally. Now, our leaders, our spiritual leaders, had concerns that have been addressed. When we first came, we came with a couple people who had concerns that they wanted the rainbow to hear. And those were that we didn't want, Lakota ceremonies recreated, and we didn't want a mockery being made of them. And that was nobody's intention anyway. And we wanted to come to emphasize and to let the rainbow family know, because word travels by word of mouth around here, just like it does in Indian country. And pay attention more to word of mouth than to online. You know what I mean? As we all learned a big lesson. And those, even the digital sphere, the cloud infrastructure that's already in place, where they're coming like a web. They're trying to own the actual zeros and ones that are flowing through the sacred space. It's a trip. It's a very serious and important journey that we're on, that we all need to reach within, to connect to whatever is united with the infinite divine. We don't hunt our own food anymore. That's sovereignty, and that's what we have to get back to it somehow. They control the media institutions, the educational institutions. They're just barcode stamping all our babies coming up, you know what I mean?
It's the Matrix.
That's what's going on. And we're unplugging out here. We're yanking that shit out from the back of our skulls. And we want the red pill out there. You know what I'm saying?
We're taking the red
pill. Now, when we said we were going to have a workshop, immediately, we're catching backlash. This is my friend Cody Hall. We were catching backlash, like, oh, they're gonna run a sweat lodge, or they're gonna try to somehow exploit ceremonies or whatever. But we're actually talking like, no, we want practical exchanges. Like, you guys are out here tapping water lines, taking care of human waste, leaving a very, very light footprint. You know what I mean? Just complete respect for the land. And we need to get back to that. The things we can offer are these stories, these creation stories, the cosmologies. And that needs to happen. So I want to do a joint effort. I want that, and I'm gonna work on that with our treaty leaders and the other spiritual leaders to make that thing happen. Come through the gate there. You see, you're more welcome. You know what I mean? There's just a couple of detractors, which there's always a fringe in every kind of thing that tries to operate like a cohort. One thing that I think all the native people out here could agree on is that we want to host a gathering like this. When we see what's going on here, we time travel 150 years back and we see ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we want to have a gathering of native people where we invite Rainbow family. Yeah. We want to do it as soon as next year. I know these things take
What's your name?
Hey, brother.
Loving you.
Loving you.
Juvia. Hi, I'm absolutely. Nice to meet you. Yeah, no problem. What's your name?
What's up, Lucid?
Hey, man, what's going on with Instant Soup?
What do you want to know?
You've been here since like '96, right?
Nah, the kitchen's been here since '96. Next year's our 20th anniversary. Got to do something crazy. You gonna help out with that?
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Right on.
Sweet, dude. Hey, bro, how's it going?
Aloha.
Hey.
Welcome to Wannaburn.
Thanks. You want to give me a little rundown on Wannaburn?
Have you? Wannaburn, 22 years ago I started doing gatherings. And I started looking towards my elders, and the things that I did and didn't do made a huge difference in my life. Who I became a lot because of this and the choices I made. So I gave my life back to Rainbow 20-something years later and started my own kitchen. I'm involved in physical exercise, and I teach rope dart, Shaolin style, and we have a fire performance kitchen. I feed the youth and bring the elders and children together, and I arm the children.
Thanks, man. What's up, Phoebe?
Not much. I'm cooking, getting this fire going.
Want to tell me about Hope Valley, like the philosophy or the idea?
I don't know if there is one, except for, I know it's a place that dirty kids are welcome. A little bit more open to drinking than other parts of the gathering. a little bit more open to meat than other parts of the gathering.
Making
A lot of kids
burgers
that
right
travel and live on the streets. And yeah, and we dank ass food. That's one of our themes.
Delicious. Welcome to Stitch and Bitch, where people can come and learn things and craft and have a space to hang out that necessarily isn't a kitchen and food oriented.
Yes, could I have some
Potato.
And that's mine. White and shiny light, Mark. And what kitchen is this? Shining light. Thank you, kitchen. Yeah.
Get it, you know, they might not care. But I know
they are
Savannah.
Triangle is very important.
I'm gonna duck under.
You know, another year should be like the 30th or the 27th or something, you know. I'm not complaining. It's just sort of amazing. This is the 3rd of July. Yeah.
Bob Marley said, there's a natural mystic flowing through the air. If you listen carefully, you will hear that. If we can become quiet enough within and without, then Om becomes audible to us all at a certain point. And Om at Rainbow, and most folks spell it O-M, as in welcome home. Oh, how convenient, really. But in Hinduism and Buddhism, it's sometimes spelled A-U-M. Those three sounds corresponding to the full range of the mouth and forming sounds. And that Om, A-U-M of the Vedas, gradually morphed into the H-U-M of the Tibetans, as in Om Mani Padme Hum. And in Islam, the word is Amin. And to that part of the world, we surely say Shalom, Shalom. And in the biblical and Christian tradition, like a noise of many waters, the word is Amen.
It was so silent all morning, and then just broken by this hum. Many, many humans holding hands in a big circle over all this different terrain, because there wasn't enough space in the meadow, so we were just stretched out, just up the mountains and on the sides and up the cliffs, and a big circle of oming humans, family, connected, interconnected, oneness. Yeah.
You know, I was able to focus on everything around me and feel the stillness and hear the dogs that run past, you know, and hear the birds, the fire crackling as everyone was making breakfast, and all the little sounds that are communicated to us throughout the day, but we don't hear them because we listen, our ears are open to the human voice speaking to us, you know. And that's something that I really realized during the silence.
I noticed you guys are doing the Om. Oh, okay, they're praying their own way. So I like that. It's pretty powerful. The Om. I like how everyone just ohms and close your eyes and just hear it goes in circles. Everybody oming. And on the fourth day, I didn't really join the Om, but I sat on a hill digging wild turnips, timsala, and I was watching y'all. I was just sitting on the side of the hill. It's supposed to be quiet. I don't know, I didn't get to be a part of the Om, but I got to watch it, and there's a lot of people there.
However, they managed to hold each other's hands in whatever kind of circle or big oblong shape it becomes. Somewhere in the middle of it all, for me, there is a timelessness that happens. A truly metaphysical experience. It could not really be put into words except to say that we're moved by it. And I know this time I was moved to weeping. It was kind of going back and forth, you know, trying to Om and trying not to cry too much, but I remember something that one of the Lakota grandmothers said about how they pray and they cry when they pray. And every year we come here and we pray and we cry for peace, which is just, to me, unity and people living together in harmony, caring for each other. That's the peace that we seek and the peace that we create here together if we do it right.
A very sacred experience. It was the rainbows. So thankful for Mother Earth. When I came into the circle, I seen a young lady when everybody started going up. She got down on the ground and she kissed the earth. As a cancer survivor, I've done that many times. And in my heart, I so desired Lakota Oyate come and revere the Black Hills are so sacred. And to me, the rainbow people have a lot of sacredness in their lives. And to me, I'm very thankful. And it brought tears to my eyes. I'm so thankful that you were here. And the rainbows. They love the earth and they love my grandfather, who was creator. That is why the Black Hills is so sacred. It touched my heart.
Rainbow Gathering 2015. We be the real deal. Lakota hippie, not hippie, pardon me. Lakota Rainbow Alliance, right here. When they have to put out the first stamps, 10-cent dime stamps, this will be the picture. I hope we get you.
Rainbow Family of Light Gathering 2015 Black Hills National.
All right, what do we have here?
This is the kitchen known as Hobo Alley. And as you can see, they did a very good job at reclaiming the site. Over behind John there is where their oven used to be. A stove over here to the left is where their big bonfire used to be. Yeah, the fat kids who does a lot of the restoration work here help them pack up and clean up. And the fat kids is amazing kitchen, amazing group of people. Gonyer, Lesgonyer.
And your title, sir?
I'm the resource advisor.
And we just did a walk through here. What's your assessment of the state of the resources of this land?
Everything is looking very good here out at the gathering site. How do I want to say? The family is doing a very good job of rehabbing. They said that they were going to clean it up, and they're doing a phenomenal job. They're exceeding my expectations.
And what kind of things were you particularly looking at? Fire, riparian systems?
The stream wasn't affected too much. They had a few bridges across the stream that they have taken out and rehabbed the sites, and they look real good. The main site, you know, the fire pits are probably some of the most disturbing things, especially the ones that were dug in, but they are doing an excellent job of naturalizing those areas. We will, you know, if you come out here next year, I bet you hardly be able to tell that they were even here.
So it sounds like you're pretty happy with what you're seeing.
I am very pleased with what's going on out here. They're wonderful people to work with.
Aloha, aloha, kia kua, aloha, aloha, kiana, kiana. And each day that I wake, I give thanks, and each day that I wake, I will praise, and each day that I don't wake up and transcend the holy makeup. I am capable, I am powerful, and each day that I don't wake up, transcend the holy makeup. I am on my way to a different place. I'm not a leader, just a creature, see the features of a teacher, where the father was to lead is mysterious with nature, and I'm into it. Change management, and there are various ways to conquer this monotonous metropolis. My stubbornness is bombless, my fearlessness is talking shit. I'm wide awake, and I'm taking names. You speak to me like you speak to God, with all the love and understanding between the Father and the Son. Believe in the fraction of where you are. These are my people, this is the land, these are the children I will fight for. My solidarity is telling me to patiently be moving towards musical medicine in a hurry, so there's no time to wait. Gotta wake up the people and stand up and say we know what we are for and how we became so in formed bodies of info, forming such miracles. I am a miracle, made up of particles in this existence. To stay persistent, I'll make a difference. I will have lived it. Aloha, aloha, Kiana, Kiana. Aloha, aloha, Kia kuam, Kia kuam.